This is the space where we have elevated, honest conversations about what it really takes to reinvent your life, emotionally, socially, and sometimes even geographically. Today's conversation is one I have been especially excited about because we're diving into something that so many people crave, but don't always know how to create deep connection, self trust, and belonging, especially as adults. Reinvention in Real Talk, conscious conversations with thought leaders. Welcome back to Reinvention Real Talk. I am your host, Karen Larrea. Our guest today is Amanda, founder of the Solo Female Traveler Network, a global community of over 600,000 women. She's also a TEDx speaker and has spent the last decade leading women across the world, not just through travel, but through transformation. She studied something fascinating. What actually makes women feel safe, confident, and connected? Not in theory, but in real life. And today, we are going to go deeper than the typical just go travel conversation, because we're talking about identity, loneliness, courage, and how stepping outside your life might actually be the key to finding yourself again. Amanda, welcome to Reinvention Real Talk.
Thanks, Karen. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you. And I want to start here, Amanda, not with your business, but I want to start with you. Before the Solo Female Traveler Network existed, who were you and what were you missing in life that led you to create this amazing network?
That's a big question.
Take it
I
into segments if you have to.
um I was a girl grieving the loss of her mother,
Mm,
and I was also somebody who just didn't yet understand my purpose.
okay.
So I lost my mom, and when she died, I just didn't know what to do with myself. And I
Mm,
had already given up my job, my apartment, the country
okay.
that I was living in to go and be with her in her final months. So when she did die, I
Mhm,
just really didn't have an anchor anywhere.
okay.
So I decided to travel, and I
Mhm.
bought a one-way ticket, and
Oh,
for a few years I did that. And I started along the way, I started a Facebook group called the Solo Female Traveler Network.
okay.
And then that turned into what it is today, which is multi-day group tours for women.
Mhm.
But before that, I was a backpacker. I was traveling for years at a time and really just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. So your mother's death was almost like your either your breaking point or your quiet realization.
Yeah.
Which one would you say it was for you?
I don't know if it was either exactly. I think it was for me, I was at the bottom of
Mm,
I was just I had nowhere to be, no one to be with, no reason to do anything in particular. So
mhm,
it was a rare moment in life that
mhm.
I was able to just literally do anything in the world that I wanted. And
Yeah.
what I wanted was to travel.
Now, did you know you were reinventing yourself, or did it happen, like, in hindsight? Because traveling to me is the best education.
For sure. No, it
Yeah,
was completely in hindsight. At the time, I couldn't even, it was one step at a time. I was
yeah,
so deep in grief, and I really
yeah,
didn't have a lot of support at the
mhm,
time. So
yeah,
I was just sort of my own support system, and I was just desperate to
yeah,
feel something other than sad.
yeah,
And so, yeah, I bought
and
that
how
one-way
long ago
ticket.
was this, Amanda?
This was about 10 years ago.
Wow,
Little
okay.
bit more, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Now that had to have been something powerful because, like I said, traveling to me is like the best education. It fills you up and almost like did you feel like you were taking your mom along with you?
Oh, yeah, she was with
Yeah.
me every step of the way.
Oh, I love that. Moms are special for sure. I love
Mhm.
that. Oh, Now, Amanda, you do talk about something really powerful, and that is shared firsts.
Mhm.
Why are first time experiences so emotionally bonding, even between strangers?
I mean, anytime that we do something new and
Mhm,
different and memorable,
mhm,
whether it's alone or with strangers, it's
mhm.
not something that you forget. But when
Yeah,
you're doing it with other people and you're kind of experiencing this thing together, you're
yeah.
feeling this newness together.
Mhm.
It's a special bond.
Yeah.
And when I was traveling and solo and I was feeling all this grief and I was just really wanting to feel alive, some of
Mhm.
my favorite moments were going diving with people I had
Yeah,
just met and then going to get a drink after. If
yeah.
we were sitting on the beach in the evening and then the bioluminescence came up and
Mhm,
surprised us, like those moments and moments where you unlike at home, where
mhm.
you have your guard up a little bit more, you
Mhm.
don't maybe share as much as fast. When you're
Yeah.
traveling, you sit on that beach and you share all your secrets. We all do.
Yes.
And you bond faster. You
Mhm.
are vulnerable with each other. You are outside of your comfort zone and you're outside of your yeah, you're just outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I for sure think that's why we experience that kind of bonding so quick versus the everyday life bond, that you don't make those everyday life bonds. It's because 'cause you're sharing something together. Like you said, you could
yeah.
be diving and all of a sudden you're sitting on a beach having a beer in the middle of Bali or something.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's no way to, like, truly replace the
Mm.
travel first,
Yeah.
but what my whole TEDx talk is about is
Uh-huh.
taking that feeling of shared firsts and
Yes.
applying it at home and
Yeah.
really making friends at home is in a similar way that we do when we travel.
Yeah, it's a pretty powerful TEDx talk, and I'm gonna have it linked in the bio. Now, do you think modern life has removed our access to meaningful firsts, and this is why so many adults feel disconnected?
No, I don't think that modern life has removed the opportunity for firsts. I
Okay.
think that our it's human nature to kinda get stuck in our ways,
Yeah.
but I
Oh,
think but I think that it takes a little bit more proactivity, it takes a little bit more intention and
mhm,
vulnerability
mhm.
and creativity to actually
Yeah.
go create a shared first, invite someone on that journey with you,
Mhm.
and see where it goes, and I think that the intention that
Yeah.
we have in
Mhm,
our friendships
mhm.
is no longer the norm, and it should
Yeah.
be.
What I do wanna talk about with you because a lot of my audience are high functioning, successful, independent people, but they still feel so disconnected. So this is why it's so
Yeah.
important, this group that you have created, the solo traveler group. Do you think that the loneliness is more about environment versus identity?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think a lot of it does have to do with the environment because
Mhm,
when I mean, as we just said, when you go out and travel and you put yourself out of your comfort zone, if you
mm,
go try to do something new and a little crazy even in your hometown, that
mhm.
is your environment. And you
Yeah.
have to step out of what's comfortable and normal sometimes
Yeah.
in order to be connected not only with other people but with
Mm,
yourself.
mhm.
So, I think in that sense it is environment. And in terms of identity, I think that's a very personal question depending on who is answering it,
Okay.
but I do think that if we can adopt things into our identity,
Mhm,
like proactive, creative,
mhm.
intentional, innovative, excited, vulnerable,
Yeah.
open, then those 2 things together combined,
Mhm.
there's no way you can't make friends. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way you can't feel connected with like-minded people. You'll find each other.
Yes. I am one of those people that I will travel solo. You get to experience different cultures, different people, different food. You talk to everyone. I have people tell me, Karen, you're crazy. How can you get on a plane and go solo? And listen, there's groups like this where you meet up, which is wonderful what you've created. And I feel every person, especially women, it's so important for us to just explore this world. But even if they can start with even baby steps, I maybe have like say a Sunday free and I'll go down to, 3 cities from me that I've never really spent time in and take a Sunday afternoon. I've done that before, and I found, like, a farmer's market I didn't know that was going on. There was a festival that didn't know what was going on. I went to go have tea at this beautiful pool that people love to go to. So if you take those baby steps, you can get to go, like, with the solo traveling that you have created, and it's just such an amazing experience in life. But I think a lot of us have the problem as adults in making those friendships. And maybe we feel like, "Oh my god, am I gonna go onto this solo travel group, and am I not gonna be making friends? I'm gonna be there still by myself." What do you think are the misunderstandings about adult friendships, and what do you think that the solo travel that you have created brings people together?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions about adult friendship is that if something doesn't work out, if someone doesn't reach out, if a connection doesn't move forward,
Mhm.
that like we all just take it too personally. And
Yeah.
it's really not that personal. Like
Yeah.
every single one of us
Mhm.
wants to feel connected, to
Yeah.
make friends.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you can do everything on your end. You can plan
Mhm.
something cool, you can be open, you can be kind, you can reach out, be communal, you can follow up, you
Yeah.
can and that's a whole other podcast episode on
Yeah.
like do this, but you can do all the right things,
Mhm.
quote, right things,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
but, at the end of the day it's a numbers game, and
Yeah.
B, like, it's timing, so it's
Mhm.
not personal, just keep on going, have fun.
Yeah.
It's if you're not connecting with others, you'll be connecting with yourself, and the right people will find you.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. And now from your experience, what actually happens to a woman's identity when she travels alone?
Traveling solo will change your identity and in the best ways. You
Yeah.
know that, like,
Mhm.
you travel and you discover exactly how capable you are.
Yeah.
And the spoiler in that is that you are way more capable than you give yourself credit for,
Mhm.
no matter what.
Yeah.
So, that's, I think, one of the biggest things. Another one is you also discover
Mhm.
how where your real feelings sit, how you really feel about things, because you finally have the
Yeah.
space without the distractions of your to-do list in your inbox to just sit with
Yeah.
yourself and in a different place, and
Mhm.
things will kind of, float through your mind and float
Mhm.
through your heart, and you have the space to hear them.
For sure. I remember the first time I traveled by myself, very much an adult, because I had always been either traveling with my family, with my children, with my partner, always. I had never traveled by myself. And for the first time, about 9 years ago, first time traveled by myself, and I did it out of the country. And my friends were like, "You're out of your mind. You're going to get in trouble. How could you go by yourself?" And I can tell you the first day I got there, I was panicked. I didn't know what to do. I think I worked out twice. I like swam in the ocean like 7 times. I couldn't sleep. I listened to like 4 podcasts. I read a book. I didn't know what to do but myself. It was like a knife went in my heart when I sat down and the waiter was like, "Only 1 for dinner." I was like, "Oh, only 1." Can I tell you, Amanda, the next day I didn't even sleep that night, but the next morning I slept like a few hours, and the next day I woke up and I'm like, "No, I'm gonna do this." And by the end of that day, I was like, "I can so do this." And it changed me. I love to travel solo. I love to travel in my girls group. I love to travel with my partner. I love to do all that. So
That's
but
amazing.
literally changes you. Wow, I could do this by myself, and
I
it
love
was
that story because I love how you went a full day before you were like, "I can do this," but
yeah.
really you were already doing it. Like,
Yes.
it's already like, it's not gonna be always, sightseeing and, the photos of you smiling with a beautiful dress in some beautiful exotic place. It is often there are tears sometimes
Mhm.
and overwhelm, and that's okay. That's just part of it.
Yeah, and for me, I think that solo travel reveals almost like a new version of you, but that was already created inside of you, you just didn't know that she was there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think it's wonderful. Now let's talk about something real, safety, okay? Because there's an empowerment messaging that you are telling us in solo travel, but there's also real world risk. How do you teach the women to hold both freedom and awareness without fear taking over?
Yes. So first, I say that one of the biggest misconceptions about solo female travel is
Mhm.
about safety,
Yeah.
because we tend to think about things in very black and white terms. It's
Yeah.
safe, unsafe. That
Mhm.
country is safe or it's unsafe. Solo
Yes.
travel, but it's not true.
Yeah.
Everything is a spectrum, and it
Mhm.
also largely depends on the individual. If
Yeah.
they have solo travel and keeping yourself safe is a skill.
Mhm.
So if you don't have any experience and maybe you've never really left your hometown or you've never really experienced um needing to be aware of your surroundings so much or whatever, then maybe you don't start with a big solo trip to India, for example. Maybe you
Yeah.
start with
Yeah.
a solo trip to California, or
Yeah.
maybe you start with a weekend road trip somewhere in
Mhm.
your own state.
Yeah.
Or maybe you go to Portugal, really
Mhm.
safe, solo travel friendly country.
Yeah.
So I think that it's it's a spectrum, and it depends on who you are. So
Mhm.
I think that's really important when women are deciding on destinations. And if you do want to go to countries that you don't feel comfortable going to by yourself, that's exactly why we exist. So
Yes.
you can go to countries that like India, Morocco, Egypt, these places that are perceived as less safe for women, and
Mhm.
go have a really secure and really fun experience.
Yes. Yeah, and I think it's more social conditioning rather than the actual risk.
Yeah.
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 For sure, absolutely. So, beyond that, I want to get into building community as adults because, like we said, it is hard making friends as an adult. That is one of the most common struggles that I hear from everyone. Even my daughter, who's 25, who I was like, okay, welcome to adulthood. Yeah, it gets a little bit harder as an adult versus you being in high school and college. But from everything you've observed globally, what actually works when it comes to building real community later in life?
I think that there are a lot of different ways that you can build community, and building
Mhm.
community and building friendship are two
Mhm.
different things.
Okay.
So, for example, I have a condo and I live in a building,
Yeah.
and I have a lot of neighbors, but three
Mhm.
neighbors in particular
Yeah.
who are both 80 or older,
Mhm.
and they one of them brought me cookies that she made the other day.
Mm.
Another one knows that I like mangoes, so when
Yeah.
she goes to the store, she always splits her mangoes with me, and the other one comes and hangs things on my wall anytime I need it.
Oh.
And these 3 neighbors, they may
Yeah.
not be my best friends, and I don't, text them, I don't send them drunk texts, for example,
Yeah.
but they are my community, and I love them.
Mhm.
Um, and then and then you have friendship. So
Mhm.
I think it is important to see the difference between them.
Mhm.
You can join I'm just making this up, but you can join like a pickleball league to make community and maybe friendship. You can join a pottery class to start building community. Uh,
Mhm.
there's a lot of spaces that you can join to be around people. If you're really feeling lonely, those are
Mhm.
some of the best places to start with, because
Yes.
you're around people, you have something in common, they say hello to you, they remember your name, and they
Mhm.
may not always be your they may not always be friend material, but
Mhm.
they are nice people who you have something in common with.
Yes.
So
Mm.
that's where I would start.
Yes. Yeah, I love that you said that because 'cause I've given that same advice. I've had someone come to me telling me that she had lost all her friends through a divorce. You know how they have the
Yeah,
couples friends. And I said, "Listen, that happened to me. You gotta get out. You've gotta get out." And what you said, "Do pickleball." I said all that. I said, "Go and join a women's group." And I did that, and I've had some great like you said, like, you're building a community, not you have your friends, but you build that community, which is wonderful.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I think, no matter how much community we have, a lot of us
Mhm.
also want deep connection. And
Mhm.
while sometimes and it's inevitable. If you join enough things, you'll find people you really gel with, and you'll
Yeah.
find your people, right? But
Yeah.
I think that as you are joining these things and you
Mhm.
meet people who you have enough in common with, and you're interested in hanging out with them outside,
Mhm.
um, I believe that some of the best ways to do that are to experience something new together.
Yeah.
So it may not always be the very first time you meet them. You might meet the very first time for coffee, right?
Yeah.
But then, as you know, then try to do something like special. Some of
Mhm.
my favorite examples are to choose like a neighborhood in your city or your town
Uh-huh.
and create your own mini food tour.
Oh,
So
you
maybe
that.
yeah, like, maybe you love appetizers at this place, and she loves the tacos at that place, and then you kind of do, like, the best of the best of this
Mhm.
town, and you walk it together, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's something that you kind of, like, co-create,
Mhm.
and it's different. So
Oh,
that's one example.
Yes, that is a wonderful example, Amanda. I love that. So, listeners, listen to what she dropped because Amanda just dropped a big gem that you could do. Absolutely. It's a great activity.
Yeah,
yeah.
and I think also, I was with a friend the other day, we've done a ton of things together, and I was like, "What's something cool?" And while we've both done escape rooms before, I
Uh-huh.
did a little research and I found an escape room that's in the dark.
Oh.
So they use but I know, I haven't done it yet, but they
Yeah.
use I booked it, but they use
Uh,
sound, smell, and
wow.
touch. And so that's certainly different for me.
Yes, that
So
is.
you can find those things around. You can also host things like Anthropologie has those really beautiful, very overpriced hand-painted candles, and they're
Mhm.
so easy to just do your
Yeah.
so maybe have, like, a little candle painting get-together at somebody's house. Maybe
Yeah.
invite a few people to that, or cook a recipe from a country you've never been to together, and
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, the list is endless, to be
Oh,
honest.
I love that. And that's why you did not just build a community, you built a global movement. So, yes. Now, what did creating this business teach you about human behavior that surprised you?
It's a good question. It's gonna sound cliché,
Okay.
but can I tell you a short story?
Absolutely. That's what we're here for.
So, in the Facebook group, this was a few years ago, we
Uh-huh.
had a woman post, and she said, "I have been traveling, and I met this guy, and we are now, like, boyfriend and girlfriend,
Mm,
and I've gone with him to his home city, and it's
okay.
in a country that wasn't hers." I'll
Wow.
leave I'll leave the name out just
Yeah.
because it's yeah.
Yeah.
And she posted after he became violent, and
Mhm.
she locked herself in the bathroom, and
Wow.
she was calling the police, the local police, over
Yeah.
and over, and they wouldn't come and help her because in this country, it's just not really
Mhm.
an emergency,
Yeah.
sadly.
Yeah.
So she posted and she's like, "I don't know what to do. Somebody help." And
Uh-huh.
so within minutes, she had hundreds and then thousands of comments. And so the women in the group started calling the police on her behalf in the
Mhm.
city to tell them to go help her. So the police station must have gotten at least dozens of phone
Mhm.
calls from these foreign women
Yeah.
demanding that they do their job.
Yeah.
So, eventually they did go, and the cops came and they got her out of the bathroom and out of the apartment safely, and when she walked out, there was another member of the community who lived in the city who
Mhm.
went to meet her and help her
Mm.
communicate with the police and get to the airport so that she could get home.
Wow.
And, I knew that most of the time women are there for one another.
Mhm.
But I didn't necessarily understand how
Mhm.
deep that it could go and how
Mm.
deep it does go. And that's
Mhm.
just one example of women who have never met each other,
Mhm.
never probably w it's one example of how women who have never met each other are
Mhm.
there for one another. And
Yeah.
that's something that pleasantly surprised me.
Wow, it's sad for what happened to her and scary, but what beauty of women coming together. I'm a girl's girl. And it's like, I always say if you throw flowers on another woman, which is like, give her praise, it never takes away your shine. I tell my daughter that, I tell my nieces that. Like if you see someone, a woman that's doing also men, but if you see a woman especially doing
Yeah.
something, make sure you praise her. If you see that she's got a beautiful dress on, make sure you tell her, I love your dress, give her a compliment. I don't think we do that enough. It's like society has conditioned us somehow like that we're competition, and it doesn't take away anything. And like you said, like that's beautiful that these women came together, not even knowing this other woman as a community to help her out of that situation. I always say we're the hand that rocks the cradles. Now, do you think, what do women say they want versus what they actually respond to in these when you see them traveling on these solo adventures that you put together?
I'm like of two minds here. I'm like of the
Yeah.
community mind and like the business owner mind because it is very, very different.
Yes.
Um, I mean, on these tours, what women say they want is
Mhm.
the best value,
Mhm.
for what they're getting travel-wise. They wanna
Mhm.
see literally everything the country has to offer
Mhm.
in a span of 10 days.
Mm.
They want to oftentimes, not just women, but people
Yep.
see something kind of obscure about a place, and they attach to it. And
Yep.
then they come to us and they're like, "Oh, I really wanna see this random ruin in this random place." And I'm like, "Girl, no one goes there because there's nothing there."
Yeah.
So, I think that people attach to the travel part of it. They attach
Mm.
to the sites they're gonna see, the cities they're
Mhm.
gonna be in.
Mhm.
But what they really want is a full balanced experience.
Mhm.
They want the connection to a place and to the local people and
Mhm.
in our case to each other, and
Yeah.
they want to know and feel like they're
Mhm.
truly being taken care of, not
Yeah.
just safety
Mhm.
and, they're like, they're the vulnerability and the trust that they've given us. Of course,
Yes.
that's covered, but
Mhm.
they also want to be confident in us that we have truly explored the country and put the
Mhm.
best of the best things together.
Mhm.
And mostly they wanna make friends.
Yes.
So, um, yeah, I think people come into it with a travel list in their mind,
Mhm.
and they leave with so much more.
So much. And now, how often do these trips happen that you curate and put together?
We do about 20 to 30 a year.
Mhm.
So there's plenty to choose from,
Yep.
plenty itineraries during time, what you want to do. And I'm sure they range, for everyone knows they range from probably high activity, high travel, high experiences. It just depends on what you're looking for. So you kind of curate to everyone's kind of what they're looking for. Someone can find something within the solo travel network.
Mostly. What we don't do is we don't really do big physical adventure trips. So if you
Okay.
want like a hiking trip, we don't
Mhm.
have that.
Okay.
What we specialize in is supporting local people and local
Mhm.
communities,
Yeah.
and we've, made friends
Mhm.
with our all of our partners in
Yeah.
the countries that we operate in.
Mhm.
So, we have women and families inviting us to their homes
Mhm.
for meals and classes and weddings and birthday parties, and there's, like, special holidays. So, we really offer the connection that you cannot find on your own.
Mhm.
Oh, I love that. Now, what do you think separates the woman who thinks about change from the one who actually does it? Who actually is gonna say, "I'm gonna go with this group. I'm gonna do this on my own."
I mean, everything. I think a lot of people, and especially women, like, we're not always empowered in
Mhm.
our immediate world, like, with our families and our communities to
Mhm.
go and do something different. A lot of people are don't get that encouragement and that
Yeah.
positivity, and it can be really hard to go against that. But
Yes.
when you do, and for the women who do,
Mhm.
they walk away with everything that we've talked about here, an
Mhm.
incredible new understanding of themselves.
Yeah.
They come out with new friends
Mhm.
from around the world,
Mhm.
from the countries that we visit, from other women across across our country, and we have global members come on our tours, but there's
Yeah.
couches to crash in any other country. It opens up the entire world to you because
Mhm.
A, you know you can do it,
Yeah.
B, you've already done it, and
Mhm.
C, you have all these connections so where you can like more easily go travel with somebody you met on a trip or come on
Mhm.
another tour with us or crash somebody's couch in wherever city they live in. So
Yeah.
yeah, the difference is tremendous.
Yes. All right. I'm going to give you some rapid fire questions, and I just want you to answer the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm
Freedom means.
the ability to follow your heart,
Oh, love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Connection requires.
vulnerability,
The biggest lie women believe about themselves is.
that they can't,
The most underrated form of self growth is.
loneliness.
Yeah. Ah, love that. Ah, great. Love that. All right, Amanda, this has been so amazing. I want our listeners to be able to find you. Where can they find you? Where can they find out about all these amazing trips that you put together?
Sure. So our Instagram is a great way to find us. It's that our handle is solo female travel.
Mhm.
We're also on Facebook and it's a free global massive community. And that is the Solo Female Traveler Network
Mhm.
group
Mhm.
on Facebook. Our website is the solofemaltravelernetwork.com or Sophie, SOFE travel for short.
Mm.
And if you go to our website, there is a free, fun Cosmos style quiz that you can take. Where should I travel next?
Ah, there it is. Listeners, I'm going to put that also in the show notes. Now, Amanda, I ask every guest this because it is the heartbeat of Reinvention Real Talk. In one word, what does reinvention mean to you?
To me, it means freedom.
Freedom. Ah, I love that. I really do love that. Oh, all right. Thank you so much, Amanda, for this amazing interview, for just giving us insight regarding solo travel and just all the great stories that you just told us. And just thank you for telling us your story.
For having me. It was really nice to chat with you.
Yeah, thank you. And now to listeners, thank you so much for tuning into Reinvention Real Talk. If this episode spoke to you, I want you to really sit with this question. Where in your life are you craving a first again? Because sometimes reinvention doesn't start with a plan, it starts with a decision to step into something unfamiliar. As always, your next chapter is waiting for you. And I am Karen Larrea, and I will see you on the next episode of Reinvention Real Talk.